Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel, Bachelor Nation News. Fans of the Golden Bachelorette are predicting that there won't be a golden wedding for Joan Vassos and her winner, Chapple, despite their romantic ending on the show. On November 13, fans saw Joan get her happy ending after she chose Chock to have her final rose, sending Guy Gonsert home in heartbreak. Following the romantic proposal, Joan and Chock joined Bachelor Nation host Jesse Palmer live to talk about their relationship. The two gushed over how happy they were together, but fans are convinced that the two won't see a wedding after all. Much of this speculation comes after the first Golden Bachelor, Jerry Turner, and his winner, Teresa Nist, ended in divorce following their live Golden Wedding special. The fan speculation came from Reddit, where one fan said, "There was no mention of a golden wedding or didn't even ask when the wedding will happen, etc., and I love that for them considering Teresa and Jerry divorce. Not only was there no mention of a golden wedding, I felt like there was no mention about where they are now, future plans, etc. Other than the secret couple trips, we didn't get any updates from them. I thought that was a weird and interesting choice," another theorized. A third said, "I was thinking this too, no questions about future plans. I think they are companions more than anything. Meet up to travel, live their separate lives with the families." "Maybe they learned something from the last time," another mentioned, referencing Jerry and Teresa. Another echoed, "But I wish they would have asked something or given us some sort of update. We didn't learn anything new from their live segment." Gasp, you are right. They got the Disneyland for the grandkids / both sides of family, but the reaction was just Joan still making faces at her grandkids, which honestly I loved that she was preoccupied doing that. She's such a lovely one and a family one. This comes as fans speculate who the second Golden Bachelor will be, as many were hoping to see Bachelor winner Kelsey Anderson's father,
Bachelorette
Mark.
shock. Why fans believe Chock and Joan will never walk down the aisle. A rose for forever, or just for the cameras? The world swooned when Golden Bachelorette Joan Vassos, with her iconic grace, said yes to the dazzlingly charming Chapple during the Golden Bachelorette finale. Under a sky painted pink with sunset and sentiment, Chock dropped to one knee, the entire nation holding its breath as he opened a velvet box holding a ring that could rival the sun's gleam. The proposal was tender, poetic, even fairy tale worthy. Joan's whispering yes became one of the most replayed clips in Bachelor Nation history. But fast forward 4 months, and what was once a love story blessed by the stars is now swirling in doubt. Despite the heartfelt engagement and joint interviews promising forever, Golden Bachelorette fans are convinced that Joan and Chock will never make it down the aisle. What happened? Well, it's complicated. And if you ask fans, they'll tell you. The cracks were always there, you just had to look for them. The engagement that raised eyebrows. To many, the finale felt off. Sure, Chock said all the right things. "Joan, I choose you not for now, but for always." But fans noted his nervousness, far more jittery than during the rest of the season. His hand trembled, his voice cracked, and when Joan said yes, there was a brief, almost imperceptible moment where she turned her head, looking not at Chock, but off camera. Some believe she was looking at her daughter. Others believe she was looking at the producers. Either way, it didn't scream certainty. And then came the body language experts on TikTok. One popular breakdown claimed Joan leaned away from Chock in post-finale interviews, only made fleeting eye contact, and used future-dodging phrases like, "we'll see," "we're figuring it out," and "taking things slow." Was this an engagement or a carefully curated storyline? The missing ring. The missing date. When Joan began making solo red carpet appearances in late spring, fans noticed something huge: no engagement ring. Even when confronted directly during a Bachelor Happy Hour podcast, Joan brushed it off. "Oh, I don't wear it all the time. I don't want to lose it." But then she made 3 more public appearances, still without the ring. At a book launch, she even joked, It's kind of nice having free fingers. Theories exploded. Was the ring fake? Had the engagement ended and they were keeping it quiet? Or was Joan having second thoughts? And then came the real blow. No wedding date. Initially, the couple teased a spring ceremony, maybe something small in Napa. But spring passed. And in a recent Instagram Q&A, Chock responded to a fan asking about the wedding. "We're taking things one day at a time. The important thing is we love each other." One fan responded, "Translation, it's not happening." A past that keeps haunting. While Joan's warm, elegant demeanor made her America's sweetheart, longtime fans remember the emotional reason she originally left Jerry Turner's season of The Golden Bachelor: family comes first. Back then, Joan's daughter had just given birth and was struggling with postpartum depression. Joan didn't think twice. She left the show immediately to support her daughter. Admirable? Absolutely, but it also revealed Joan's deep emotional tether to her family. And for many fans, that hasn't changed. "She'll never move away from her grandkids," one viewer commented on Reddit, "and Chock's job keeps him in Florida. How will they make it work?" There's also Joan's late husband, John, who passed from pancreatic cancer in 2021. She's never shied away from talking about him. In fact, she said on multiple occasions, "I don't believe you only get one soulmate, but I know John was mine." Some believe Joan may never be emotionally ready to say "I do" again. Chock's hesitations and that ex-fiancé scandal. If fans were skeptical of Joan's readiness, they were even more skeptical of Chock Chapple. A retired Navy captain turned wellness entrepreneur, Chock's aura of calm masculinity quickly won Joan over. But some eagle-eyed internet sleuths unearthed old photos of Chock with a woman who appeared to be his ex-fiancée, dated just 2 years prior to the show. The plot thickened when that very woman, identified only by Marissa in Instagram commenters, liked several posts critical of Joan and Chock's engagement. One now viral Reddit post claimed, "Marissa's heartbroken. She thought they were still going to get back together. Chock blindsided her by going on the show." Chock never publicly addressed these claims, but fans noticed he quietly turned off comments on his personal Instagram for a few weeks. His silence only fueled speculation. Separate lives, separate priorities. Another reason fans don't believe the wedding is happening: Chock and Joan are never together anymore. Sure, at first, their Instagrams were filled with couple selfies, hikes, wine dates, and playful marriage prep reels. But now? Crickets. Joan has returned to her real estate business in Maryland and is often seen with her grandkids. Chock, meanwhile, is busy hosting wellness retreats in St. Augustine and recently announced a podcast about starting over at 60. Their lives, once so intertwined, seem to be running parallel rather than intersecting. And in the age of social media, fans pick up on these things fast. "You don't need to announce a breakup. Your posts will do it for you," one fan posted. A secret pact. Perhaps the most popular theory among Bachelor Nation diehards, that Joan and Chock never truly intended to marry. They made a pact for publicity. Some fans believe the producers urged them to get engaged to give the franchise its fairy tale ending. After the backlash over Golden Bachelor couple Jerry and Teresa's rushed wedding and divorce, ABC allegedly wanted a win. Joan and Chock fit the bill perfectly. Think about it. One TikTok user said, "The Golden franchise needed good press. Joan agrees to go along with the engagement, stays under contract, does the media rounds, then they amicably split in a few months, and it's spun as real love takes time." Classic. It's a cynical theory, but one that's gaining traction, especially with Joan's recent cryptic caption. "Sometimes the chapters that look like endings are just making room for a better beginning." Was she talking about her new book, her daughter's latest milestone, or something more personal? Fans speak out, and they're not holding back. The comment sections have officially become war zones. On Facebook, longtime viewers lamented, "I had such high hopes for Joan. She deserves happiness." Others were harsher. "She was never ready. Why did she go on the show at all?" Over on TikTok, Gen Z fans are dissecting every interview for signs of discontent. One viral post with over 500,000 likes broke down a moment where Chock and Joan gave totally different answers to a question about their favorite date. She said the beach picnic. He said wine tasting. They're not even on the same wavelength anymore, the creator said, shaking her head. But amidst the criticism, some fans remain hopeful. Maybe love at our age doesn't follow the same rules, one comment read. Who cares if they don't get married? Maybe being together is enough. Joan's emotional confession. Just days ago, Joan appeared on The View, looking radiant in a pale pink blouse, but her tone turned somber when Joy Behar point-blank asked, "Are you still planning to marry Chock?" Joan paused. The audience went silent. "I love Chock. He brought joy into a part of my life I thought would stay quiet forever. But we're both learning who we are outside of the show. We're still in each other's lives, but the timeline is evolving." It wasn't a no, but it wasn't a yes either. It was the kind of answer that only fanned the flames of speculation and confirmed what many fans already believed. Joan and Chock may love each other, but they're not getting married. And what comes next? If Joan and Chock don't walk down the aisle, does that mean the golden experiment failed? Not necessarily. In fact, some fans say the opposite. Just showing older people being open to love again was the point. Marriage isn't the only measure of success. Joan herself hinted at this in her most recent blog post. Maybe the bravest thing you can do in this chapter of life is to love without needing to define it. Still, ABC remains suspiciously quiet, and sources close to production say the network is already brainstorming the next spinoff. Golden Love, Second Chances. Coincidence or foreshadowing? A rose that may never bloom. As of today, Joan Vassos and Chapple remain engaged, technically, but the ring is still missing, the wedding date is still a question mark, and the last time they appeared on each other's social media was over a month ago. So maybe fans aren't being negative, maybe they're just being honest. Maybe deep down we all know. The Golden Bachelorette found love, just not the forever kind. And maybe that's okay. Because even if Joan never says I do again, she already did the bravest thing of all. She said yes to trying. There was a time when Joan Vassos was just a name. Elegant, mature, poised. Now she was the Golden Bachelorette, a trailblazer for love after 50, and a beacon of hope for anyone who still believed in fairy tales past the age of retirement. But ever since she got her dreamy engagement to the debonair Chapple on national television, a growing number of fans have been whispering, "It's not going to happen." And the whispers were getting louder. A love story that felt too perfect. From the